If you are still developing SAP UI5 applications by editing files in the SE80 workbench, uploading BSP applications manually, and testing against a live backend, you are working harder than you need to. Modern UI5 development looks nothing like that. Today's workflow involves a local development environment with hot reload, a command line interface that scaffolds projects in seconds, mock servers that simulate your OData backend, Git-based version control, and automated deployment pipelines. This is how front-end developers in the broader web ecosystem have worked for years, and SAP has caught up. Today, we will walk through the complete modern UI5 development workflow from project creation to production deployment using SAP Business Application Studio, the UI5 tooling CLI, and industry standard practices. Let us build better Fiori apps, faster. Your development environment is the foundation of your workflow. You have two primary options. First, SAP Business Application Studio, or BAS. This is SAP's cloud-based IDE built on Eclipse Thea, which means it is essentially VS Code in the browser. BAS comes pre-configured with UI5 development tools, Fiori project generators, and direct integration with SAP systems. You do not install anything, just open a browser and start coding. Second, if you prefer a local setup, you can use Visual Studio Code with the SAP Fiori Tools extension pack. This gives you the same generators and templates as BAS, but running on your machine. Either way, you get syntax highlighting, code completion for UI5 APIs, and integrated terminal access. The choice between BAS and local VS Code depends on your organization. BAS is easier to standardize across teams with zero setup, while local VS Code gives you more control and offline capability. The UI5 tooling command line interface is the backbone of modern UI5 development. Install it globally with npm install @ui5/CLI-global. Once installed, you scaffold a new project in two ways. For a blank UI5 project, run ui5 init. For a full Fiori application with best practice structure, use the Fiori application generator, available in BAS or as a Yeoman generator in VS Code. The generator asks you a series of questions: which floor plan, list report, work list, object page, freestyle, which OData service, which entity set, and what the app name should be. It then creates a manifest.json with all your app configuration, a component.js as the app entry point, views and controllers following the MVC pattern, and an i18n folder for translations. The key file is manifest.json. This is the blueprint for your app's routing, models, data sources, and deployment configuration. Every modern UI5 app is driven by its manifest. Here is where modern tooling transforms your productivity. Instead of testing against a live SAP backend, which requires VPN access, test data, and shared system availability, you test locally against a mock server. The UI5 tooling provides the ui5 serve command, which starts a local web server with your app. Add the --open flag to automatically open your browser. For OData mocking, you have two options. First, the ui5 middleware mock server reads your OData metadata file and generates fake data that matches your entity structure. Second, for more realistic testing, you can record actual OData responses from a real system and replay them locally using the ui5 proxy middleware. The workflow becomes code a change, save the file, the browser hot reloads, and you see the result instantly. No deployment, no waiting for a shared system, no conflicts with other developers. This tight feedback loop is what makes modern UI5 development fast.
Version control is essential for professional development. Every UI5 project should be in a Git repository from day one. Your branching strategy should follow a standard model: a main branch for production-ready code, a develop branch for integration, and feature branches for individual work items. Each feature branch follows the pattern: create branch, develop and test locally, push to remote, open a pull request, get code review, merge to develop. The manifest.json file deserves special attention in version control. Because it controls routing, data sources, and deployment targets, conflicting changes to manifest.json can break the entire app. Establish a team convention. Only one developer changes manifest.json per sprint, or use a structured merge strategy. Also, add a .git ignore file that excludes node modules, the dist folder, and any local configuration files with system credentials. SAP Business Application Studio has built-in Git integration, or you can use the command line. The point is, when your app is ready, you need to deploy it to where users can access it. There are two primary deployment targets. First, the ABAP. This is the traditional target for on-premise S/4HANA Fiori apps. The ui5 tooling provides the deploy command that packages your app and uploads it to the BSP repository on your ABAP server. Configure the deployment target in your ui5-deploy.yaml file with the server URL, client, and transport request. The app then becomes available through the Fiori Launchpad's app index. Second, Cloud Foundry. For cloud deployments, you build your app with ui5 build, then deploy the resulting dist folder to a Cloud Foundry space using the cf push command or an MTA, which stands for Multi-Target Application, Build and Deploy Pipeline. The MTA approach is recommended because it handles routing, authentication via the app router, and service binding in a single deployment descriptor. Choose your target based on your landscape: ABAP repository for on-premise, Cloud Foundry for BTP. Two more capabilities complete your development workflow. First, flexibility, sometimes called variant management or key user adaptation. This feature lets business users create personalized variants of your app, changing table columns, filter defaults, or field visibility without touching your code. As a developer, you enable flexibility by configuring the flexibility services in your manifest.json and ensuring your controls support the adaptation APIs. This separates developer changes from user customizations and reduces change requests from business users. Second, debugging. The ui5 inspector is a browser extension available for Chrome that lets you inspect the ui5 control tree, view binding information, and trace data flow in any running Fiori app. For deeper debugging, add the URL parameter sap-ui-debug equals true to load unminified ui5 sources with full stack traces. Combine the ui5 inspector with the browser's standard DevTools network and console tabs, and you can diagnose most issues without touching the backend. Here is your complete modern ui5 development workflow. Set up your environment: BAS for cloud-first teams, or VS Code with Fiori tools for local development. Scaffold projects using the Fiori application generator. Test locally with ui5 serve and mock servers. Never test directly against production. Use Git for everything: feature branches, pull requests, code reviews. Deploy to ABAP repository for on-premise or Cloud Foundry for BTP. Enable flexibility for user customizations. Debug with ui5 inspector and sap-ui-debug. This workflow gives you the same developer experience that React and Angular developers enjoy, applied to SAP's enterprise ecosystem. Start by installing the ui5 CLI. npm install @ui5/CLI-global. That one command opens up the entire modern UI toolkit.